recap some of that and talk about the years after residency. So, but before that, we need to know about the residency itself. So, residency is the best time to learn. All right, this is the time when you want to become like a jack of all trades. You want to learn everything. Don't try and limit yourself in residency that I only want to learn anterior segment or I only want to do posterior segment or something of that sort. So it's the best time to read. So that's the time you must read and read some more. Whether it's your textbooks, whether it's papers that you're reading, whether it's reading from the notes of your seniors, ask questions, do a research project. So this is also the best time to learn research because there'll be a lot of people who will be willing to mentor you and who will be willing to teach you. So you must do a research project, even individual, apart from the thesis that you're doing. It will really add to your overall development at that point in time. And try and publish something, attend a conference. So these two are also important things, as Nilesh also suggested, that if you attend a conference, you will learn a lot of things which are happening beyond just what your textbooks are telling you, and you also get into the habit of doing that in the future. And yes, if you can publish a paper, and I think that's really the best thing that you can do, you should take out that time and do that. But then your residency is over now, so what's the next step? Should you be doing a fellowship? Should you be doing a job? Should you be starting practice? So that's where we get stuck on these crossroads. So some of the points towards the fellowship would be that if you're going to be practicing in a big city, in a metro city, now people are looking for specialists. The patients are more aware. So probably that's where a fellowship would definitely come in handy. If you're going to work in an institution, if you're going to work into what would be a group practice or an academic institution, again, a fellowship would help you because you'll get into the speciality of one, you'll get into one speciality, and that will be very useful. If you want to become a master for one, so if you got a passion in something in your residency, you said, no, retina works well for me. For me, neuro-ophthalmology was one thing that I was getting passionate about. I said, this is a branch, there's a lot that to it. So I decided I wanted to do something in that field. And so if you have a passion, you must, of course, go ahead. And if you want to develop, your own practice further, so let's say there is, you're already working or you're a second generation ophthalmologist or anything of that sort, and you want to take it further, then a fellowship is what will add to that. So what about a job? When would we be thinking in terms of doing a job, or what would be the right time to do that? So there are two ways that you can look at it. It could either be in the form of a medical college, essentially, or an academic institution, which could be not, even private or public, both. So that's the first point that we need to look at. So this is a place where you can look at a long-term career. So think of this situation, if you're thinking long-term, to be there. Right? There could be, of course, an advantage in short and medium-term training or a job there as well. But essentially, from a medical college point of view, specifically, long-term is what you're looking at. There is a stability, and if you have an academic and research interest, this is what you should be looking at doing. The corporate hospitals or the private or the public sector jobs, which are non-academic, essentially, when I say non-academic, not in medical colleges or institutes like that, you're looking at either a short-term or a medium-term career. You can think of those in place of a medical college. And if you're thinking of generating or to learn your skills a little further, that's another place you can do a job before you get into practice. Or you could develop a patient base if you're shifting to a new city in that area. And of course, if you these are just some pointers that you could be doing either in either of the places. And a lot of the corporate hospitals now are having a lot of research and academics also going alongside them. And when do you want to start your own practice? So, there is a dictum, as we said in practice, that the sooner you start, the better if you're intending to do that. So one, of course, it's easy if you're going to be in a smaller city or a smaller town, or if you're going back to your hometown and you essentially intend to be there itself afterwards. So you should start your practice a little sooner. If you've had enough training in residency and your clinical skills and your surgical skills are good, you're confident, again, you should think of doing that. If you have a partner with you, you can get into a group practice earlier. You can divide between the specialities. Of course, you need the financial aid initially to be able to do that. So if the financial assistance is there, that's again another thing that you could consider of doing, getting into a practice early in your career. And that's actually a good thing. So the earlier you start, the better. In my story, of course, I was with the RP Center AIIMS. In fact, I did my MBBS there. I went on to do my post-graduation there. I joined as a senior resident. I got into a senior research associate job. I was looking at a faculty post initially, but around that time, I was contemplating different options. Then we were to set up a department at Medanta, a hospital in Gurugram itself, which is a big tertiary care hospital. So that excited me and that gave me a challenge. So I moved from a public sector setup entirely to a corporate setup, which was exactly the opposite of what that was. But we started research, we started DNB, we started those things, and then along the time I felt that it's now time for me to get into my own practice and do all that for myself. And that's when I started my own clinic, Noble Eye Care, and I'm visiting. So essentially, I've had taste of all different forms of what would possibly ophthalmology, would offer in terms of the whether it's a job in the public sector or in the private sector or in my own practice. So based on that, I would say that I still feel probably I could have jumped into practice a year sooner, maybe. But yes, everything has its own learning, and that entire journey did teach me a lot. So the sky's the limit for you guys after residency. So just chart your own route. All right. Thank you. So I think the next program.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Now we would conclude this session and invite